The Alabama Farmers Federation and the Alabama Farmers Cooperative proudly present Simply Southern with your hosts Jim Allen and Mary Johns.
Hello and thanks for joining us for Simply Southern. I'm Mary Johns.
And I'm Jim Allen. Most members of the FFA plan to make agriculture their career, but before they start feeding our nation, they're feeding part of our community by assembling meals for the less fortunate.
And this gives kids a chance to come together and to work in a cooperative effort in a way that serves the needy people in our state.
Meet the Grimes brothers, both lifelong woodworkers who have recently discovered talents for building musical instruments.
It's always a pleasure to be able to build something and to use the talent that God gave me.
Sydney Phelps of Bonnie Plants will be here to tell about the top mistakes new gardeners make when first learning to grow their own vegetables and herbs.
But coming up after the break, we've got you front row seats as a small town brings its most famous native's groundbreaking novel to the stage.
What sustains us? Food? Family? Faith. Alabama farmers live those things every day. They conserve our resources, clothe our families, and fill our tables. They cultivate jobs for our communities and values for our future. Farmers grow it all right here in Alabama.
There's no such thing as downtime when you own a farm. This is your land. You tend it and try to get the most from it, no matter the weather or time of day. It's been that way for generations. And for generations, your local quality co-op store has been there for you, with a full range of agriculture supplies and services, from feed to fertilizer, seed to grain storage, and the right hardware for any application. You'll always find what you need, plus friendly, knowledgeable advice at your local quality co-op store. There's one near you.
No discussion of Southern literature is complete without mentioning Harper Lee. Her Pulitzer-winning 1960 novel, To Kill a Mockingbird, has become a staple in school classrooms and inspired the Academy Award-winning film starring Gregory Peck. It has also become a star attraction in Lee's hometown of Monroeville, where every year this timeless tale of tolerance is brought to the stage in a venue that's hard to beat. The old Monroe County Courthouse is an iconic fixture of Monroeville's downtown square. The century-old building also plays a part in one of the most famous books ever penned in Alabama. Harper Lee's To Kill a Mockingbird is considered classic American literature and required reading for many grade school students nationwide. Today, these high school students are enjoying a preview performance adapting the Pulitzer-winning novel to the stage, in the very setting where Lee conceived it.
The play was written in the 60s by Christopher Sergel, and in 1991 I decided that we needed to do Harper Lee's play, To Kill a Mockingbird, in her hometown. We had no theater really available to us to put the performances on, and we just felt like the courtroom was the place to do it.
While there have been many stage productions of To Kill a Mockingbird nationwide, no other can claim a backdrop quite as impressive. Starting in an intimate outdoor setting, the audience can enjoy the ambiance of Monroeville's historic downtown square before moving inside to the courtroom that inspired the 1962 motion picture. A few randomly chosen spectators even have the opportunity to be part of the action as members of the jury.
This is one of the highlights of our region. To be able to go into the courthouse and watch this play is something not very many people get to do. I mean, folks fly in from all over the world to be able to come just experience the original courthouse in the hometown of Harper Lee.
The production is made possible by a cast and crew of devoted volunteers, most of whom call the surrounding area home.
I heard about it in the Bruton Standard, just like a local paper. And my dad's like, hey, you should do this. And I'm like, oh, okay.
I rehearse them almost every day of the week up until performance time. And they go home and they meet with others and they rehearse again, and their wives and their daughters are reading lines, and their moms and their dads. And they spend countless hours doing small things like getting that costume right. We don't provide costumes. These folks go out and find their costumes. They are remarkable people, and they come together in these areas every year, so willing to give their time.
To Kill a Mockingbird was a groundbreaking exploration of racial injustice in an era when the South was struggling with issues of equality and civil rights. The courtroom setting places the audience in the middle of the story as it unfolds, which drives home the themes of Harper Lee's story in a way mere words can't match.
I always observed the people on the jury, and 3 other guys came over to me when it was over, and they were actually crying. And they walked up to me and hugged me and told me they were so sorry for what happened. And immediately I told them they did not have to apologize for what happened then. Just make sure there's not a repeat now.
When Christopher Sergel wrote this play, he put Harper Lee's words right into the play. And when you're sitting back, as I do sometimes, back behind the courtroom when they're putting on that second act, and I'm hearing those words, it just really affects me every time. And when he does that charge to the jury, and when those kids come down to their daddy and say, what the heck happened, you know, it's just still so powerful to me.
Mary, you know how hard it is to get anybody's attention for 15 seconds, much less 2 hours. Well, as the final act was wrapping up, I didn't spot one of these kids whose eyes weren't glued to that courtroom stage.
I can see why. That's really a wonderful way to see that story come to life.
Folks, I highly recommend you catch this performance when it returns next spring. Put a bookmark in your browser at tokillaMockingbird.com for information on the play, the book, the movie, and much more.
When we come back, to make a joyful noise, it helps to have some accompaniment. Meet 2 brothers from North Alabama who spend their free time in the wood shop creating musical instruments.
Soybean is a very versatile product. We make crayons out of it.
A lot of the combines you see rolling through the fields have a lot of plastic side panels that are made from a soy product.
The soybeans that we grow on our farm mostly goes into chicken feed.
Soybean production in Alabama employs over 10,000 people.
We grow some of the best soybeans in the world.
We go the extra mile to make sure when our name is stamped on it, we know it's the best product we can produce.
They take you where you want to go, where you need to go, and sometimes where you thought you'd never go. If we're lucky, the road of life is smooth, and the curves are just part of the adventure.
All for a better life.
Enjoy your road. Alpha Insurance.
All for a better life.
Pay your bill, file a claim, and more with the Alpha To Go app.
A farmer has to live on faith. We do all we can do, but we can only control so much.
Alabama is the 2nd largest poultry growing state in the nation, so we're trying our best to grow all the corn we can for that.
What we produce not only feeds and clothes all of the United States, but about half of what we make goes on to the world market.
We've been able to improve yields, have some things that can help us produce a better crop. I'm proud of the product we make and proud that I can say I'm an Alabama farmer.